my Instagram feed yesterday, and I came upon a post, and if it's okay with you, I'd like to read this post. It says, 5 morning abundance affirmations. I love money, I attract money, I respect money. 2, wealth is my birthright, my natural state of being. 3, I see myself as wealthy, and that's who I am. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I am prosperous, generous, healthy, happy, and I live in abundance. These are good, right? Like, show of hands if you think these are good, right? I love affirmations. These are good. But are these enough? No. If it was enough just to have the right mindset and the right checklist of to-do items, everyone would be saying these things and everyone would be living the life of their dreams. So we know that there is something more. There is something more to this equation, and that is about alignment. And that's what we're going to be talking a little bit today. So very briefly, I will share a little bit about me. My name is Melissa Marks. I am a recovering type A personality perfectionist. I have had every single limiting belief about money that you can possibly imagine. I have been working in the field of mental health for nearly 20 years. And I'm a licensed professional counselor and certified meditation teacher. And through my business, Melissa Marks Wellness, I help coach people to connect more deeply into your souls and heal whatever there is that is limiting and blocking your light so that people can live truly the lives of their dreams. And this, my friends, is my good friend, Kristen O'Neill.
Hi, y'all. Hold the applause till the end, it's fine. My name is Kristen O'Neill. I am the Chief Financial Planner and owner of HerPlanning. I typically work with women who are primary income earners in their household. And my mission is to help you be great in life where it matters without apology. And so the way I do that is by helping take financial planning off your plate. I would just like to point out that I am a current type A personality that's still a perfectionist, but sometimes Melissa helps me out with that. So just to give you an idea of what we're going to be doing, I am holding on to this because it has my notes, not because I'm checking my email or Instagram. But I wanted to let you know that we're about to get into a really brief meditation just to ground you in the space and get you present for what we're going to talk about today. Also, we're going to give you a few points and key takeaways after that about mindset, mindfulness. That made it worse. The microphone loves my phone. We're going to talk about... Oh my gosh, you guys.
Smart group.
How will I know what time it is?
Well...
Thank you. Any of my other closing you'd like to do? So we're going to talk about money, mindset, and a couple key points for y'all to take away from this experience. We're also going to give you a few minutes for Q&A. There we go. Hello, I'm in the room. We're going to give you a few minutes for Q&A and then talk about how to connect with us if you would like to do that. But for now, I'll turn it back over to Melissa.
Okay, y'all, we're really excited to be with you. So how many of you would like to do just a really short meditation to set your intention for today? Yes. Okay, great. So if that feels comfortable to you, I invite everyone to close your eyes. If not, you can just take a soft gaze, just looking at a little speck on the floor. So with the eyes closed, having both feet firmly rooted on the ground, okay? It's really important to feel grounded and anchored in your physical body, okay? So with the eyes closed, I invite you now to place your left hand over your heart space and your right hand over your belly. And let's begin now to take a nice, deep belly breath in and letting go. Taking a couple more here. can breathe into a count of 4 and exhale to a count of 4 or 6. Just feeling the tactile sensations of your palms against your body, breathing. And now returning to your normal breathing, placing the palms back in the lap, however you're comfortable. And I want to invite you now to connect to a time, a moment, a memory where you felt completely at ease. Maybe it was a vacation somewhere, a place somewhere in nature, maybe connecting with a loved one, where maybe you were watching a sunset and you just lost track of time. Just have anything come to you and very consciously now breathe that in. That state of effortless ease and oneness. Feel it inside your body. This is your true state. And this is you, your essence, your soul. And now I invite you to ask yourself, from this state, what is it that you need most today? From today's session and for the rest of today, what do you need? What is your soul speaking to you now? Please take a moment and set your intention for our time together today. And when you're ready, I invite you to open the eyes. Okay. All right, great. All right, so we're just going to get down to it. We're just going to start talking about what we think are the most important takeaways and points when it comes to alignment, right? What is that? What does that even mean? And we're just going to kind of trade off time. I'll say a point, Kristen will speak a point, and we really hope to generate a conversation with you guys on what's most important to you. So, for what I've seen, experienced, seen in myself, other people I've worked with, everything I've read, everything I know at this point, it is about a feeling state. It's not enough to have a mindset. You can have all those affirmations, right? You can know all the right things, but if there's not a corresponding feeling state of what those beliefs are, never the twain shall meet. That's when you have people going and doing and going and doing, but the energy underneath doesn't match up. So it's about having your doing come from a state of being, which is very, very different. Okay? We can come back for questions and thoughts on that, but that's kind of step one, point one.
If I can make a request, if you have a question, just write it down real quick, because I don't want you to forget it, but
Yes,
we got to
good
get through like a little bit, then we'll do questions.
Keep going? All right, keep going. All right, so when we did that opening meditation there, and you guys, how many of you kind of connected to an ease, a place of ease, or some place where it just felt right? Now imagine showing up with that, and every call that you make, every email that you write, every business decision that you make has that underlying energy alongside it. That's the connection, right? Because for so many people, myself included, and people I work with, when I said I was recovering type A, there was a reason for that. It was like that excessive go, grind. But we have a balance of energies. We have, alongside that, those masculine energies of doing and getting things done, we have feminine energy which I'm using in quotation marks. We can talk about gender and all these things later, and that's not really what it's about, but it's that softer energy of allowing, receiving, listening, trusting, and then allowing that to guide our doing. That's the shift. It's really an energetic up-leveling. That's kind of what we're talking about. And when you're triggered by something that is a limiting belief, let's say, or when you're like, oh my God, that's not what's showing up for me, right? And you feel some of those unhealed wounds coming up. Second big takeaway that I want to share is what to do about that. The first thing you want to do is stop. Just with the moment you notice, that's the moment of mindfulness. Doesn't matter if it was a whole day you were spinning your wheels and running around. The moment it becomes clear to you that that's what's been happening, you stop. You take a few deep breaths. You come back to your why. You come back to spirit. You come back to where we started today with your meditation, and allow a conversation to take place within you, reminding you of that deeper connection. The doing follows from that. Bringing that back in. Healing is putting light where there was previous darkness. Okay? So we've got to be real with where our limitations are. It's just unhealed wounding. Everybody here has been wounded. Some of us come from histories of trauma. I know I did, right? So a lot of those limiting beliefs come up. And we have to soak the love and the light back into who we are, and then we're able to come back in and serve and do all these amazing things that you know are inside you.
Melissa.
So you want to come in here, Kristen?
Okay, I want to go now. So some of you, we really rehearse this, and bless Melissa's heart. She always tries to rehearse these with me. We do this all the time, even though it doesn't look like it. And then I'm always like, I'm just going to get up there and do something random. And then I do. And she forgives me. So Melissa and I, like I said, have worked together for a long time, client. And I want to kind of explain a little bit more for those of you who are like, that feels really earthy and up here to me. And why is there a financial planner? And why aren't we talking about money? So one of the things that Melissa said, and one of the issues I come across in my practice often, and I work with a ton of women, is that feeling of, I'll explain it like this. I was test driving cars last weekend. I didn't tell you this. Don't be upset. I was test driving cars last weekend, and I got in a really expensive car. And I sat behind the wheel, and something in my little voice was like, you don't deserve this. It's too expensive for you.
Okay, good.
See?
I'm glad you're sharing this.
So I think sometimes it's like, I know, it's okay. Applaud later. So it's kind of about hearing that thought. That's the trauma that I have around money that I didn't know I had, but it just sort of popped up. So that's one thing to just kind of capture and take note of and figure out what to do about later. But just capturing it, I think, is a really good first step. But I think you guys are sitting here, y'all, women, people, are sitting here listening to Melissa talk about being able to just be and seeming float up the tollway at rush hour with just style and grace. And I think part of what allows you to do that is the fact that you've had some intention around what you want to accomplish, and you've created an intentional plan about how you're going to get there, and that's what I can help you do. And so and it can be another financial advisor if you find somebody cute in Dallas you like, that's cool. But I think part of it is really sitting down, and the girl that was up here earlier and the really cute neon-y green was figure out who you are and also what you want. I ask women all the time, what do you want? And then they're just whatever, a house and a fancy car in Plano. Do we want that? And I don't know. You guys could want, I don't know what you guys want. So you think about the thing, and then I ask again, what do you want? What do you really want? What does that get you? Why do you feel like you need that? And so really thinking about what you want, working with someone or working on your own to create an intentional plan around what specifically you need to do to get there, and then realizing that as you go about your day that you've done enough. So the plan said do this, pay this off, invest this much, whatever your plan set do, then you can go about your day knowing that you have done enough, you have worked towards that, you have checked that box, and then you can go and show up fully in the other places and have the freedom to behave like this woman, just like graceful and full of light.
Well, like I said, this has been an ongoing journey, and I think we're all kidding ourselves if we say that we're perfectly doing this or totally healed. This is an ongoing journey that we're all on, and I think, let me ask you guys this question. How many of you have ever done a belief inventory on money? Just written down your beliefs about money? Okay, a couple of you, a few of you. So here's my ask of you, your homework, if you want to do it today or when you get home, is write down your belief inventory. Just write down what you believe about money. A lot of it, I'm going to tell you, is going to come from your childhood, your parents, their beliefs, right? I've got a couple nods in the room, right? And notice when you write that list down, how many words speak to it's hard on some level. Like, I had a lot of that. Like, it's hard to make money. It's hard to be successful. It's hard, it's hard, it's hard, it's hard. So when you look at your list, notice that energy. Does that energy, that it's hard to succeed and make it, does that match? Is that an energetic match with what we talked about earlier, your soul's purpose? That's a higher vibration. We want to make sure that we're identifying where we're misled, and we just have this old unconscious programming, and then we take the steps to write down some new ideas, some new beliefs, just to stretch, just to step slightly outside our comfort zone. What would it feel like to trust that I am meant to serve in the way that I was born to serve? What if I could receive just as much as I could give? And going back to a point that Kristen made that I think is a really important one, it is a balance of setting intention, of being really purposeful. Your mind is like a bow and an arrow. It goes in the direction that you're pointing it in. So to have a financial plan, to have a framework and a guide and a map of where you're going, and then the other piece of tapping into your divine feminine energy, being able to have that beautiful balance, that's the sweet spot. That's the alignment piece.
They're filled with questions.
How are we on time?
That's what it is. Cool.
We could do Q&A.
I feel like now's a good time for a Q&A.
Yeah.
I do want to say, though, financial planning is like when you know where you want to go and then you have a GPS map to get there. And so otherwise, if you're just like, I'm leaving my house, I want to be rich. Like, the GPS doesn't know exactly what rich is, where rich is, how to get there. So just think about just creating intention, goal setting even, if you want to replace financial planning with goal setting, that's what it is. So we know that you guys have burning questions and we'd like to answer them. Also, if you don't, we are willing to bribe you to ask questions. So does anyone have one?
Oh, I saw a hand. Ooh,
I saw.
that was a...
Oh.
Oh.
Melissa, would you like to share the bribe?
I think you're going to soon see what the prize is because I saw someone with her hand
Hand.
up immediately. I want to reward you for that.
Please.
What is your question?
What's your question?
And what is your name?
I'm Zoe Madewell. I have a music and art school about 15 minutes from here. I'm wondering, I had a breakthrough just listening to you about our mindset as business owners who have just come out of or coming out of a pandemic. It was my mindset. I was so big right before and then I had to close my doors. My mindset has been for the last 12, 15 months survival and kind of angry at what's out of my control. And I think now the business is growing back, it's very exciting, but I just realized that I think my mindset hasn't shifted into, it's still stuck in the fear and uncertainty. I mean, I'm keeping children safe, we have group classes, we have every day is uncertain in a group class environment. And how, with this new meditation, can we as business owners be sure to do self-checks that we're not still back in the fear of
Right, great question. I think probably a lot of people can relate to that. Show of hands, the pandemic kind of did a number on your business, right? Yeah, so thank you for sharing that. I think we're all healing still from things, some more so than others. What I can tell you that's really effective is starting every day with a very powerful morning practice of some kind. And in this is a good segue because you, my dear, won a journal, and I'm gonna promote.
have a question. I see you.
I'm gonna promote. This is a friend of mine that made this. Her name is Megan Lyons. Yes.
This is mine, people.
Yes.
Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate. We have a winner.
So I want you to think about it like this. Starting your day with just even a minute or two of that intentional meditation where you tap into your why, your soul, whatever connects you to abundance. Think of it like putting gasoline in your car. You don't want to start your day driving on an empty tank and then just aimlessly, whatever, that kind of unconscious energy. So starting your day with this in mind, really breathing it in, being intentional is a huge way to start. So that journal will help you, I hope, get to that.
I have a second half to the answer, and then I know that you desperately want a journal, so I will hear next. So the other thing is, there's nothing more empowering than taking score, no matter what the score is. So if you're one of those people that's like, what did you just say? I never know. Like, I say it, and then it's gone. So what I mean by that is I have worked with clients with like $300,000 in student loan debt or $100,000 in credit cards. I've worked with clients who are multimillionaires, own businesses worth $50 million. All levels, if you don't know, that's the scariest thing. So the other thing is numbers don't really lie to you. So if you're just like, I just don't believe, like your brain is like, we're not surviving, but the math says you are, at some point you kind of have to give in to the fact that like, you have 50% growth over last year, and the math will support that. So sometimes the doing action will support the belief. It's sort of like a circle. Okay.
Right.
Please. Just kidding. Yeah, what's your name and what's your question?
Okay, so my name is Buki. So I have about 2 questions, and maybe a rant as well.
We're going to have to cut the rant because we don't have...
So the first one is, could you speak to this mindset of, you need money to make money? You know, how it's almost like a block, a mind block, if you will, for people where they feel like, oh, I really have nothing, but here's what I want to get to, So that's question 1.
Okay.
So in what I do, or what I'm working on, I'm working with stay-at-home moms.
Is what?
Stay-at-home moms.
Oh, okay.
Right. And I know that the financial mindset and even planning for women that don't, exactly make an income, they support, maybe, most times it's usually a position of supporting your spouse, working in that. And maybe someday you want to grow to the point where you're also making yours. What's the starting point? Like, how do you go from just, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Oh, yeah.
Sure.
So how you go from just, oh, yeah, this is what we're bringing in, this is how we can manage it, and then from into conversation to say, oh, then this is mine. You know what I mean? Or what can I do with it? Or how do I even get better with it?
Do you want to take it first or me?
Yeah, because I'm going to go real quick. So we have a friend named Tina. She's babysitting my puppy in Tulsa, Oklahoma right now. Not the point. So she is a business coach, and she asks me this question all the time. And the question is it possible the opposite could be true? And so I would just, first thing you said, when you said it takes money to make money, I just wanted to be like, that's wrong, that's not right. But you are going to like your own ideas about this better than mine because your ideas are brilliant, and mine, I'm just, So, but truthfully, your brain will like your own ideas better than they'll like someone else's. So if you sat with that and you said, is it possible the opposite could be true? And kind of journal, meditated, thought about that, your brain will start to come up with ways that couldn't be true. And your brain wants to solve problems if you sit down and let it. So that was your answer too.
Yeah,
huh?
well, I'll piggyback on that. Whether you believe it's true or not, you're right. And there's another thing really important from a neuroscience perspective. So you thought I was just up in the clouds, but here's some neuroscience for you, okay, to support all of this, is that there's a part of your brain called the reticular activator. Some of you know this? Awesome. Okay, the reticular activation system, and what it does, it's constantly sorting foreground from background. So the easiest example is if you're looking to buy a new car, and whatever that new car is, what happens? You see it everywhere on the road.
Everywhere.
Right?
All of you have it.
Right. That's the classic example of it. So when you believe that there's a different way out there, you're going to have people, situations, and events come to the forefront to help support that next step, that next intentional place.
Right, Danny,
I think
how
we
are
have
we
time for
doing?
one more? In the back.
We have one intentional hand in the back with the sunglasses.
Hi, I'm Caroline, and my question is really towards you, and I'm sorry I forgot your name.
I'm Kristen. Thank you. I like it too.
This really, for me, is coming from a lot of my life. I've been a housewife, a stay-at-home mom. Worked not because I have to, but because it's I want to. And here I am, 5 months into starting my own business. Don't know why I'm trying to do that, but here I am. And my question is, for my financial future, that has been almost entirely taken care of by my quite capable husband. What questions do I need to ask? What things do I need to do to start understanding it for myself, even though I trust him?
I feel like you guys are asking me for a blog. I don't know if I have. Okay, so here's the first question. I know. You don't have to answer this. This could be rhetorical. Do y'all work with a financial planner? Does your husband work with a financial planner? Do you go to the meetings? Cool. Yeah. Do you go to the meetings with her?
She's actually not local.
Do you go to the Zoom meetings with her? Does she email you? Because most of my clients are in Dallas, so my clients I don't see them either.
Pretty insistent that I
Yeah, good girl.
still just stand there. I don't even know what to ask, and I don't know what to disagree with or what to agree with. So I feel like I must need to read something.
No. So in your gut, there you have a question. And one thing that helps me that I do with y'all sometimes is I ask permission for stuff, and I would ask, can I ask a question? Or can I ask a dumb question? And it's possible that the question is really not dumb. But if someone gives you permission to ask a dumb question and then you ask one, it's okay. But you've got a question, and it hits you in the gut whenever y'all are talking about whatever you talk about. Or could you explain that to me like I'm a fifth grader? I like doing that for clients. I also draw pictures because I think that's helpful. But I think just start asking the questions, or ask the planner if she wouldn't mind spending some time just going over big picture what the financial plan is. So that's the biggest thing, is if you have a financial professional, we have calls. This doesn't apply to me as much, but for the men, they're always trying to figure out how to get the wife to come to the meetings. Because, they're just not connecting with the female spouse. So go to the meetings, ask the questions. I think there's going to be some time later for one-on-ones with me if you want to talk more about that. But thanks for the idea about like a blog post, or I'll put that on the internet for y'all. It's HerPlanning.com. I'll put something up in the next month or so. HerPlanning, HER, planning.com. Okay, thanks y'all. I want to say real quick, if you need to get a hold of me, herplanning.com. If you need to get a hold of Melissa, what's your email address?
Yes, it's melissa@melissamarkswellness.com.
And also, we asked Amanda if we could have y'all's email addresses. I don't want to email you, and neither does Melissa if you don't want us to email you. So if you could please let me know, and we can still be friends if you don't want email from me. Seriously, I'm fine with it. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.